let's talk ingredients that we're going to be needing for this recipe. So in here I have tomato paste for added color. In here I have habanero peppers. I use 2 because I like it spicy hot. Again, this is the cold season, so hotness won't do you any bad but good. But if you don't want it too hot, you can just use 1 of this, or you can actually just leave it out depending on your taste bud. I have some fresh plum tomatoes in there, and then I have onion. I like to use the sweet onion instead of the my regular red onion, because just for added sweetness. And then I have some garlic. I have about 3 cloves, and then ginger, of course. And you have your pasta, and I use the whole wheat one. Again, as long as I can get something that would be more healthy for me, I go that route. But you could use any pasta. White one will be fine as well. Then in this jar I have the Knorr seasoning, and this is the tomato bunion one, with the chicken flavor. I find out that this, for me, in my pasta, makes it stand out better. But if you don't have this and you have your regular Knorr in your pantry, you can use that and add some turmeric powder to it, or curry, whatever works for you is fine. And then we have some oil that we'll be using as well. This is the oil that I actually use to fry chicken, and so I always have it stirred to flavor my dishes. And then I'm gonna add some herbs. I'm gonna use parsley flakes. And then in this jug here I have my meat stock that I already got from making it from other meats. And then I have the ground thyme and rosemary. I usually blend them myself. I just mix them together and then I put them in a jar like this. So any other thing that I left out from this list, I'm gonna try to introduce it as we go on cooking. So first I'm gonna go wash this off and puree it with a little bit of onion. So let's go and do that now. So I went ahead behind camera and I did this. I pureed it into this mixture. I've done it severally, so I need to show that on camera. So once we're done with that, the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to chop or finely mince the garlic, the ginger, and the onion in a bit. Be careful to watch your hands so you don't chop your hands in the process of doing that. Just be careful and finally mince it this way. I love the flavor garlic and ginger gives to the onion. Anytime I saute it, the aromatic releases its flavor into the oil, and it's just amazing. Seriously, it's just amazing. I didn't used to like garlic growing up because I would say my mother kind of abused it, because with the old folks, they're always like garlic solves everything. But instead of having a dosage or a measurement, they keep, she could eat it all by itself. And she would put it in every dish that she made. And that was like, oh my God, that's a killing. But with time, I've come to realize that is actually one aromatic that I cannot do without in my kitchen. So, do the same thing for the onion. So. So here you have it, your mix of onion, garlic and ginger. So I'm gonna set this aside. Do what I do in my kitchen bags. I'm gonna mix this tomato paste with a little bit of stock so that by the time I fry it, it doesn't get burnt on time, and again it just adds that flavor already to the tomato paste. So we're gonna do that right now. By the way, I love this tool I just got because it has a way of filtering the liquid away from the fat whenever you make any meat stock. So it kind of, what you have below is just water coming out, the clear stock, while the oil stays on top. So I really do like this tool that I just got. So I'm gonna mix this up this way, like almost turning it into the consistency of puree, but maybe a little bit thicker than the puree itself. So you just mix it this way. So you see the consistency? Not too thick, not too runny like this, because let me show you what I mean. This is very runny. This is the pureed tomato, and then this is the paste. You see there's a difference between this color and that color, and so this will add more richer red color to your pasta, and also the flavor is different from this one. So we're gonna fry it and fry this one as well and make the pasta sauce. So once this is done, we'll set this aside as well, and then I think we're ready to mix up our sauce and find out how they turn out. So let's head on to the stovetop. So we're going to start first by preheating our pot, especially if you're using a stainless steel pot, because you don't want your tomato mix to get stuck on your pot when you start frying. Yeah, almost. You see that ball of water going around? See it moving around like that? Then you know your pot is ready. You see, it's not going off, it's not evaporating, it's just moving around. That's when you know your pot is ready. Now I can go ahead and add my oil to add like a barrier on the bottom of my pot. I added about 1.5 cooking spoon of oil, and then now I'm gonna go ahead on the medium heat and saute my onion, garlic and ginger mix so that it will release its flavor. Now you don't want your heat to be too high because you don't want to burn your garlic and your ginger. You just want it between low and medium heat, and then you just give it this stir for it to release all that flavor into the oil. Yeah. You don't want to burn it, I mean. Just up to the point where, see, Now I'm going to add my tomato paste, the one that I mixed together, and then I'm going to fry that first. Get a better spoon and do that. Raise my heat up to moderate heat again, and then stir it in. At first it just comes this way, but with time you'll see that pocket of oil in between the tomato paste. That's when you know that yes, your tomato paste is, well fried at that time. Because you added some meat stock, some liquid, it's not going to burn on time compared to if you do not add your meat stock. But at the same time, you don't just want to leave it in because you added your meat stock. You still need to give it some stir once in a while. And then allow that to fry. I'll allow it to fry for about 1 to 2 minutes, and then I'll come back and show you how it's going. Already I see the pockets of oil forming. See that there's no burning on the bottom of the pot, and this is simply because of that meat stock that I added, and also because you preheated your pan and preheated your oil as well. If not, what you'll be having is that it will be sticking to the bottom of the pot. I want it to fry for a little bit more, so it will release all its flavor as well and reduce that tanginess that comes with your, tomato. See, your kitchen should be smelling good already with just this little step that you've done. Once you feel satisfied with the taste that you've gotten from your tomato paste, then you can go ahead and add your tomato puree to it. But before then, what I like to do is give this a swirl like this, so that the oil coats the underneath of the pan again in preparation for the other tomato that is going to come in. Because if not, what I find out with time is that it's going to start burning on time and you will need to keep stirring. But with that step, it kind of coats the underneath and allows this tomato puree to boil some more. Because what I'm trying to avoid is for it to get burnt, and at the same time I don't want to sit here and be turning and turning and turning. So once that is in, you can now allow it swirl it a little bit around. Don't use your spoon to turn it at this stage, because the oil that you put underneath the tomato is acting as a barrier between the pot and the tomato. So give it time to start boiling and reduce significantly. The water from the puree will reduce significantly for the sauce. Or another test you could do is test it and see if that tangy taste of tomato reduces. You see, the bubbles are already coming. They're coming. So it's been boiling for about 2 minutes now. I just want to show you something. I don't know if you can see it, but checking if it's burning and seeing if I will need to reduce the temperature. But this, I know it's not going to burn because of all that extra step that I took. So I'm just going to allow it to keep, boiling and simmer. Well, not simmering, but boiling, so the water evaporates and the tomato sauce reduces and the tanginess goes away with it. After about 10 minutes of boiling and reducing, let me show you, and let's see if the under is burning. See, as clean as it started, just because you did not disturb it. So I'm going to allow it to keep boiling for a little bit. Swirl again if I need to. And then let it keep reducing. So what I will see next is that there will be a little bit of oil floating around. It's already started floating. I don't know if you can see. Let me move in my camera a little bit. See? Those oils are already coming on top of it a little bit. So I'm just gonna let it boil a little bit more for about, let's say, 3 to 5 minutes, and then we'll continue. So 3 minutes has elapsed, and then I decided to check it again. Still, let me show you, no burning. Under is clear. See? But again, if you don't want to deal with all this problem or all this technique, you could just use your non-stick pot and go ahead and do it. But I'm just trying to show you another way of making your tomato sauce with the stainless steel and avoiding those, immediate burning, especially when you're using the tomato paste. So I'm just going to give it a taste and see. I think that's perfect. Now I'm going to reduce my heat to about low and add my spices and allow that to simmer and flavor it more. Although it tastes delicious already, I can imagine how my pasta is going to look like already. I'm going to add about 1.5 teaspoon of the Knorr seasoning powder. Then add about 1 teaspoon of paisley flakes. Go ahead and add half teaspoon of ground rosemary and thyme. Give it a stir. And then, delicious, perfect. So the next thing we're going to do is add some of the meat stock. About 1 cup is fine. You might be like, okay, didn't we just reduce the tomato? Why are we adding liquid again? But the reason why we try to evaporate that much liquid from the tomato is to get that tanginess away from or reduce that acidity that comes with tomato and the tangy taste. But with the meat stock, that's just meat stock, and that's just another liquid, not acidic or tangy. So that's the idea behind this. Now I'm just going to allow all that to simmer and marry themselves together with the flavor under low heat. You don't need it boiling, you just need it to simmer together, you see, like that, without it boiling or boiling heavily. It's just to marry the whole spice together. So next I'm going to be showing you how we'll go ahead and make our pasta. That's boil our pasta before adding it into this. So I first prepared the sauce so that once the pasta is done, you add it into it and you have yourself some meal. In another pot, add water and bring it to a boil. About 4 to 5 quarts of water. And bring all that to a boil. Once this has come to a rolling boil like so, What you will need to do next is to add 1 tablespoon of salt, and then just add in your pasta. Now we're not going to cook this for a long time, although the package says that I should, cook for 3 minutes, stirring occasionally. Like so. And let it cook for about 2 minutes or 3 minutes is okay, like it says. I don't want it thoroughly well done. I just want it like an al dente texture, because I'm still gonna add it into the sauce and allow it to cook for a little bit in the sauce. 3 minutes should be fine. Now, before, the mistake I used to do is add oil when I'm making my pasta, when I'm boiling. But I discovered that when you add oil, what you're simply doing, by the time you add it into your sauce, the oil will not let the sauce stick onto your pasta. It's just going to slip away. So now I do not do that anymore. I just add the salt into the water and allow it to boil. And when it boils for about like 2 to 3 minutes, I then drain it out and heap it and dump it into the sauce. I'll show you what I mean in a second. Be sure to stir at interval. So while that's doing its job, I'm going to take out some of the sauce, because as a beginner it might be too much. So I'm going to take some out and put it in the plate like so. So my sauce is not too much. Now the pasta has been boiling for about 3 minutes. So I'm going to drain it out now. Yeah. This is the softness I'm looking for. You see? I'm able to break it, but it's not soggy. You see? And then take that out and drain. Like so. Now I don't want all the water to go off, so I'll put it back here and use some of that for my sauce. Pardon my kitchen sink. And let's continue with this one. And pour it in like so. And then mix and mix and mix and mix and mix and mix. See? So now all we need to do now is to allow this pasta to take up all the flavor from the sauce under low heat, and while at it is gonna keep on cooking. So I'm just gonna add that little bit of pasta water that I left off. It was about like half a cup. I think I want a little bit more sauce. A little bit more. cover it up and allow it to cook in that sauce. Again, your temperature should just be like low, a simmer. You don't want it to be boiling. You just want a simmer so that all the flavor would, soak into the pasta very well. And then we're almost done. Let's check on our food. Yeah, it's looking yummy. Food is ready. And that's color. Just add this on top of it. Your pasta is ready. Isn't this beautiful? I think it is. Once you try this out, please remember to leave me a feedback comment. Share this video, like, subscribe, and ring your notification bell for instant upload updates. Until next time, when I see you again, let's learn and cook together. Bye-bye.